The Mexican gym.
Welcome back to the Mexican Hour. So
we're going to go over phase 2 of our body weight exercises. We want to make sure you guys are staying mobile at home. Don't use this as a time to just sit on the couch. So let's get moving. We're going to first start with our core section.
she said she didn't want to do a lot of talking, and she just starts talking. So core exercises, like we did on the last one, on our phase 1 video, is we are going to focus on going through these movements for 2 rounds. So when we get done demonstrating them, you can pause the video and rewind to the beginning to go through them again with us, or you can, your feet are right in my way, or you can just pause and then loop it on your own. Right, so we're going to start with our dead bug, same way we did yesterday. Mari's going to bring her leg down and her opposite arm down. Okay. She's going to move slowly and smoothly, making sure to maintain her breathing. If you did not click on that breathing video, I suggest going back to the previous emails and doing so, because it's really important. It's how we maximize all our core exercises.
Do your resets.
Do your resets every single day. Okay? Now, you can make modifications to this position by bending your knee, adjusting your range of motion, not going all the way down to the ground, or varying your speeds. Again, speed is another variable that you can use besides weight. You can go super, super slow, and that's much more challenging to your nervous system. Going super fast as well as another way to just add another variable. Okay, from this, we're going to come over and flip onto, not onto our stomach, because we're going to be up into a push-up plank now. So we're taking that plank that we did yesterday on our forearms, and we're going to extend our arms out, but still have the same tension variables. So you really want to engage your glutes, you really want to engage your lats, you want to make sure your body's in a nice straight line. Adding the wrist and elbow into this adds another stability component that your body has to address. So it's a little bit harder and actually going to prep you for the phase 3 workout that we have next. All right, she's going to hold that for 15 seconds. I'm not counting. So
I'm pretty sure that's longer.
We'll make her hold longer. It's okay, I'm not doing it. And good. So now we're going to get down back onto the ground. Okay, flip onto our back. And we're going to do glute bridges. I'm not going to be in the same position Mari was, because that looks weird. Okay? So when we're doing our single leg glute bridges, we want to make sure that the non-working leg is being pulled towards the chest. What that does is activate your hip flexors, and it makes it a little easier to maintain a neutral lower back position. It also kind of prevents you from cheating. Remember to adjust the position of your down leg based on the mobility of your hips. The closer you are to your butt, the harder it's going to be. So adjust that foot. So for you, we're going to do 10 on each leg. Good. And we'll let Mari show. There it goes. Really important that you pull that hip up and you're keeping that knee towards your chest the whole time. Okay? You can put a tennis ball there, roll up a pair of socks, put some object there that makes you keep that hip closed so that you can continue to feel like you're not using your lower back. Good. After she does 10 on each side, she's going to flip over onto her stomach. We're going to keep the YTA, I'm sorry, I apologize. So phase 1 was on our stomach. Phase 2 is going to be in the tall kneeling position. So we're going to get on our knees. Some of you may have to put an object underneath you, roll up a towel, pillow, couch cushion so that you have comfort for your knees. She's going to tuck her hips a small amount and close the distance between her ribs and her hips. Okay? You don't want to feel like you're opening. She's going to do her YTA. She'll pull her arms up. Where you go in the Y is kind of up to your shoulders. You're going to pull back your thumbs as hard as you can, but without letting that tension that you're creating in your back open up your ribs. So really focus on keeping that distance short. And we're going to do 3 reps on each side. 3 reps of each. So the Y, the T, and the A. Okay? One more. Really pay attention to the fact that she's not opening up in her middle. That's why this is a core exercise, because you're challenging your midsection's ability to maintain that neutral pelvic. All right, after that, we're going to continue to keep that crawling in place. 3 variations. We can come up off the knees. We can drop the knees down and crawl with the knees on the ground. Or we can lift the knees up off the ground and then just do that elevated rocking that we did on the last one. Okay? Find which one is comfortable for you. Find which one allows you to maintain a neutral back position and creates no tension or pain in your wrist or shoulders. Okay? So now would be a good time for you to pause the video, either repeat that for another round or rewind it to the start before we get started on the strength block. All right, so you've done that core section for another round. Now we're gonna move into the strength block. We started phase 1 with body weight squats. Anything that makes you use both your feet at the same time is gonna be a little easier for your stability to control. So we're gonna challenge that stability component by splitting up your stance. These split lunges are gonna set your foot back at around a 90-degree angle, and you wanna pull that back toe underneath. Really important that this front knee is tracking your middle toe. So you don't want it to collapse inward towards the inside of your big toe or push it too far out towards your pinky toe. Really make sure that it's staying locked in that midline. She's gonna push down through this front foot, which is our working leg, and she's gonna slowly lower her body down in a straight line by bending both knees at the same rate. A lot of times people will bend that back knee after starting to bend that front knee, and that pushes too much of your body weight forward. Madi wrote 5 to 20 reps down, so we're gonna make her do 20. But really, you should
I changed it.
You should
Since
do
10. I follow the program.
5 to 10 reps on each side. This is a very challenging movement. If you need to pull in a stick or use some type of balance balance aid, that is completely okay. The most important thing is that you're following good mechanics and your joints should feel good. Adjust your range of motion so that you feel like you're doing this safely. That knee ideally should come all the way down to the ground, but there's nothing wrong with you shortening the distance that you're using so that you can make sure that you're feeling comfortable and you're not creating any pain in your joints. Okay, so these are split lunges. We're gonna do 5 to 10 on each side. We're gonna switch over to using the bench. Phase 1, we did just straight elevated push-ups. You can also do these push-ups on the ground. Okay, we're gonna add in that stability component again. So she's gonna bring her knee up towards her chest to do a very slow and very controlled mountain climber. Then she's going to do a push-up after each leg. So coming down, driving back up, mountain climber on each side, coming back down, and driving back up. You wanna find an object that allows you to go all the way down so that your chest is touching. You can adjust the range of motion to make sure you're not hurting your shoulders or your elbows, but it would be easier if you just go to a higher surface, countertop. All right, Madi got a phone call and that cut the video, so we're gonna kind of address a couple of things we were talking about. You can adjust the height of whatever elevated surface you're doing to allow you to bring your chest all the way to the object. So countertop, back of a couch, pretty much anything that's very sturdy that you can go all the way down to. There's nothing wrong with you adjusting the range of motion so that you don't hurt your shoulders or elbows, but you really want to pay attention and hopefully bring yourself all the way so that chest is touching the bench. Okay? So from here, I'll make Madi do a couple more. So from here, we're going to move into our isometric leg supported row. So phase 1, we did the band pull aparts, which is really going to challenge your upper back. Here we're going to incorporate a little bit more lat. So we'll use that belt, that towel, or whatever object that we're going to use to kind of pull against, and we're going to do a leg supported row. So you want to get in about your squat stance with one foot slightly behind the other. I like to line up my toes with the back of my heel and then pull. Okay, so you're going to really make sure that that object is anchored below your heel so that it doesn't slide and move. You're gonna make sure your shoulder is down away from your ears. If you watch the reset video, we talked about pushing the shoulder blade down to kind of get a little bit of lat activation. That's exactly what you should be feeling here as well. You're gonna pull, hold for a 3 count. 1.
Sorry.
That's what I have to deal with. 1, 1,000. 2, 1,000. 3. Good. And you're gonna do 10 rows on each side. How much force you put into the band is up to you. You can make these incredibly hard by really ramping up and pulling like at 70% of your effort. It should really never be 100% of your effort, because then it's going to take away from your breathing and you're not going to be able to keep that real deep diaphragmatic breath we want to maximize all these movements. Right? So she's going to pull 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000. Right? So she's going to do 10 on each side. Okay. And then don't feel like you can't mix and match. So if there's certain movements that you can do from phase 1 and those feel good, and then you introduce some of the phase 2 movements and they hurt. Let's say the split lunge does not feel the best on your knee. Do the squats and then upgrade and do these little bit more challenging progressions in the phase 2 part. Mix and match them, but do what feels best for your body. And more importantly, keep moving a little bit every single day. All right, so next part is switching. Phase 1, we did the cross crawls, slow cross crawls that Madi couldn't do slowly. Apparently she can't balance that well. So
I was doing them super slow.
And now we're gonna switch it over to a single leg deadlift, right? So no weight here, it's really just increasing that balance component. So So she's gonna come down and basically do a toe touch on one leg, and then come back and then alternate sides. And that's gonna act as a cross crawl because she's touching opposite sides of her body. Losing your balance is completely okay. Honestly, it's part of the reason to do this is the more you challenge your ability to stand on one leg while doing various tasks, the better off your stability is gonna be through your foot, your knee, and your hip. Okay, so if you kind of lose your balance, don't get discouraged. That's the whole point. It's going to improve your balance over time as you continue to do these movements. Okay, that's going to be 10 on each side, but again, adjust based off you, or just go back to doing that really slow cross crawl, whatever feels best, or mix and match, do a little bit of each. Okay? Last but not least, we're going to reincorporate that dead bug with stick resistance. This is a very, very challenging movement to begin with. But if you've been doing it and you feel like you need a little more, either lower your leg down slower or provide more tension into the stick. So I'm going to ask Maddie to push a little harder with her arms and drive her knees a little harder into the stick, and that's going to really ramp up the amount of core tension you're getting. We're going to do 10 on each side for this movement again. You'll repeat the split lunges, the elevated push-up with the mountain climber, that leg-supported isometric row, your single leg deadlifting, and then also your deadlift with stick. Just set a timer for 10 to 20 minutes and you'll loop through those exercises as many times as you can with good technique. And at the end of the day, moving a little bit every single day is what's going to be the most important thing for you guys. And if you have any questions or if you need any modifications to these exercises, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here for you.
Thank you.